Welcome back to the vlog and welcome back here to Yambai Talk. We're heading up to Compium today, just a 12-minute flight up the hill. So let's get started. Igniter's on, fuel pump on, low start. As my energy comes up, over 14 will introduce my fuel. Watch my IGT rise, making sure my NG is coming up over 35% and climbing. There we go, start's done. We're out here at Yambai Talk. I just dropped off the solar panel equipment that we had the project back in January, so thank you again if you guys were part of that. Really appreciate your generosity in helping out with that. We were able to find all of it, as well as some extras for some upcoming projects that I have coming up in the next couple of months that I'm still in the process of getting all the stuff for. It just takes forever to get anything here in PNG. Get the air going because it is already 105 degrees in the cockpit. All caps and selectors are good. Turn off Betty for takeoff. We are just going up to Compium and we'll put in 8,000. We're at 500 feet right now, so hopefully we don't have to climb all the way up to 8,000 because that's going to take a while. Switches and instruments. We are 5,900 pounds, so we'll rotate at 56 and 66 if we had to come back in. Flaps are set. We're going to set up our trim. If we are not 35 knots by that little shack up there on the right, we'll abort on the runway. Full reverse, heavy braking, flaps up. Pull off and shut off. If we're going off, we'll go off to the left for the end because it's just a drop off down to the river. Takeoff, pitch for 85, consider PL, consider feather, otherwise cut off, pull off and shut off, 80 full flaps, and we'll just look for some gravel bar on the river. Emergencies, masters, and crack my door. Moresby 6538 November Tango Echo taxi. I might have to wait till I get up in the air. Moresby 6538 November Tango Echo taxi. November Tango Echo taxi Compium, or correction, Yambai Talk Compium 5 POB, and landed Yambai Talk time 10. Right, I think she heard me. All stations, Yambai Talk 128.5, November Tango Echo, departing Yambai Talk for Compium. Ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. We're 33 degrees at sea level nearly, so 15, let's say 1550. So 1500 for 1500 for 1550. Ignition flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. And my wheel is cocked and I am on a side slope, so I'm going to do right aileron, probably a little bit of dragging of the brakes at first. 1500. Rotate at 56. There we go. There's 40 continuing. And there's airborne. Bump up my ITT to 740. 12 knots of headwind. I'm glad I landed when I did because I wouldn't be able to land here with 12 knots of tailwind, that's for sure. We'll just head straight ahead and then do a 180 up this other side of the valley because we need to turn basically 180 from where I am right now to where we're going. Alright, I'm pitching for 73 knots. My best angle of climb, we'll do a 180. Put a little nose over so I don't drop below 73 knots. Now that we're well up and clear, we'll go ahead and nose over a little bit more and get over 85 knots and then we'll start taking our flaps out. And we will see which valley we can make it up. It looks like there's a lot of clouds on all the tops of the ridges. I really don't want to have to climb all the way over the tops of them, but if need be, then I'll do that. But we'll just see which one of these valleys we can make it up and over to Compium. Now we're over 1,000 feet. We'll do landing light off, engine inlet back to normal, and our igniters are turned off. And let's see if we can make our radio call for departure now. Worsby 6538, November Tango Echo, departure.
November Tango Echo, go ahead.
November Tango Echo departed Yambaitok for Compium at time 50. Tracking 181 on climb below 8,000. Estimating Compium 02.
November Tango Echo, contact below 8,000 and air scanning 1008.
Below 8,000, 1008, November Tango Echo. Alright, that's the valley I want. Let's just go on up in there and just see how it is. To see if I can find some holes to head on over to the next valley once I get in this valley. A lot of clouds just on all the ridge tops. I'm sure the cameras don't quite pick that up. They never seem to. They always seem to show like 10 times more definition in the clouds than the natural eye, the naked eye can actually determine. But we're going to come in here first and see if I just need to go over them or if we can find some holes that we can punch, kind of wiggle our way through up to Compium. Thinking we will be able to. Alright, Compium, I was just in here last week. I don't come here but a couple times a year, to be honest. It looks like I might be able to go through some of those ridges down below, but I'm not really familiar with this area. And there's not a lot of room to fit through. It's a tiny hole. So I think I'm just going to maybe climb. There we go. We'll climb up over those. Off to the left.
Maintaining 17,000.
Elevation for the field is basically 5,000. So I need 6,000 for my pattern altitude. It's kind of an odd pattern altitude. Odd pattern or circuit, however you want to call it. Once we get over around these clouds, then I'll go over it a little bit more. Oh, perfect. This is even in the right direction. I think this is going to work out quite nicely. I'm almost 7,000 now. We should be able to get all the way up through here, below 8,000 over top of these clouds, and then drop on down just a couple thousand feet. So that'll probably be a lot easier than trying to wiggle my way through tiny little gaps and stuff in the mountains in an area that I'm not 100% really familiar with. So I'd rather be doing on top where I have lots more room to maneuver. There is just now about 8,000. So now that we're up and over top, I've got one more ridge that I have to get over top of before I can get down into the valley that I actually need to. So I'm just going to look for a little kind of lower area in these clouds, pop over those, and then jet right back on down to 6,000 feet.
Kilo Sierra Alpha, 5 miles Hagen, contact Hagen Tower, 120.5.
Kilo Sierra Alpha, okay.
There we go, that's the hole that I want. I guess the low spot in the clouds. So now that we're climbing up towards that, like I said, we want 6,000 pattern altitudes, a 3% slope. I'm going to be turning basically final to, or downwind to final. There's not really much of a base here. At 5,600 feet. The valley's all nice and clear like I was expecting it would be. One runway over here, another runway over here, all within like five nautical miles. It's crazy how many airstrips there are in Papua New Guinea. I think there's at one time over 300 of them. They're not all open now, but it's crazy how many there were. About 20 degrees of flaps now, just so I can kind of save as much of space as I can. I can increase my descent, basically my descent rate, without increasing my airspeed with my flap. Get down sooner so I'm not taking up the whole valley just to get down to my 6,000 feet. Like I said, I want to turn basically my downwind to final at 5,600. Looking at my winds, they look really nice. I'll go ahead and cancel my SAR now. Moresby 6538, November Tango Echo, in the circuit Compium, cancel SAR.
November Tango Echo, Compium, South terminated.
November Tango Echo. All stations, Compium 128.5, November Tango Echo is in the circuit Compium. Top end harness is good. I'll probably have to undo my harness again just to kind of see, because it's hard to see where the runway is on downwind. This is a fenced-in airstrip, I believe. Going 66 knots on final, 76, well, if we had a base, which we really don't, so 86 knots on our downwind. If you guys want to fly this same flight, check out my Patreon page. I'll put the same flight on there for you guys, and as well as some extra on-the-ground content. So if you're looking for more interaction with the community and what I do on the ground and what it looks like on the ground, I usually walk up and down the airstrip for you guys. So if you're interested in that, check out my Patreon page. Like I said, I'll leave a link down below. And the airstrip looks wonderful, as always. There's nearly 6,000. Winds look like I have maybe 6 knots of tailwind up here, but it'll probably drop on down once I get down a little bit lower. Looks like I've got a tiny bit, maybe 4 knots, maybe 5 knots on the ground, it looks like, from the windsock. There's 6,000, so basically I head out to that ridge out there before I turn at 5,600. Already did our SAR, I could check that off.
$500.
Well, I'm going to just start slowing down to like 80 or kind of like 78 knots. So that by the time I'm turning my downwind to final, there's 5,600 now, so I'm just going to hold the altitude for a second, bleed off some of this airspeed. Head out here, all the way out to this ridge right here. Before turning in. Here's full flaps, checklist is complete. Going to 66 knots.
Probably 500.
Quick descent, because there's not much of a final right here. There's our 66 knots. I get some turbulence right here. I'm going to keep my speed up for a second. 3 knots of tailwind. Land in a couple cones in. 4 knots of tailwind, 7 knots of crosswind. There's 5 knots of tailwind. We're now committed. And this airstrip always looks so nice, and it's so rough. So rough. I'm dropping off some guys going to school today, and as well as the local doctor out of Yambai Talk. He's come up here to do some work up here with the medical clinic and stuff. So anyways, thanks guys for joining me on that flight yet again. Up here at Compium. If you guys did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up as always. Consider subscribing if this is the kind of content you guys enjoy watching. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of it. Also, if you're interested in some sunglasses, I've got these back on my website finally for you guys. Go check that out. They're glass lenses. They work really, really well for flying. I use them. I enjoy them, so. Our blowers off, all of our lights. All right, guys. See you next time.